It's one of the greatest feelings in the world, waking up on old Route 66, which is so magnificently full of wonders like this, the Conoco Tower and the U-Drop In that we just looked at last night and all that amazing neon. We've actually gotten really far behind schedule. We're back on the old Mother Road where we have to get from Shamrock, Texas, where we've woken up today here out front of the U-Drop In, which by the way is open today and serving customers inside of the old dining room. Can I get you anything, sweetie? No, Rudy, your smile is enough for me.
Get your dadgum hands off of my woman.
Hey, wait a minute, Texas Ranger. Why are you handcuffed to yourself?
That's none of your dadgum business.
As well as the lovely and expansive gift shop inside the old garage portion of the Conoco Tower. And this is exactly the kind of thing that happens. We see a place like this, we pull over, we come inside, we spend all kinds of time in it. We look at all of the things inside, check out every photo. Sometimes we get carried away buying all the things. I really want to buy one of these snow globes. 65 bucks. They probably don't make very many of them, that's why, but they're awesome. So you see, between the window shopping and sticking stickers of my friend Adam the Woo on the counter right here, looking at every display and everything else, you can see how we've gotten pretty behind schedule. But hey, we can always try to make up for it today by blasting our way eastward from Texas here into Oklahoma. All right, we're slowing down. I'm taking the car right up to the line, to the Texas border. All that back there is Texas, which means that everything in front of us over this line is
He'll enjoy Oklahoma's wide open spaces. He loves to run and run.
All right, I've now literally pulled a muscle, which London thinks is hilarious. We've driven across the state line here in Texola, Oklahoma. Time to make tracks. Dude, I love Route 66 in Oklahoma because there's so many stretches of unbroken old Route 66 to drive on. All right, we've now rolled into the old Route 66 town of Erick, Oklahoma, probably most famous for the Sandhills Curiosity Shop, home of the world famous Harley, who we visited on our last trip. But Harley's place isn't the only place in town worth stopping at, because Erick, Oklahoma actually contains another town entirely, Sam's Town, a modern folk art installation created over the last 30 years by the artist and photographer Samuel Hagen. It is part historic preservation, part folk art paradise, and it sits right on old Route 66. A place to explore, a place you can camp. They welcome bicycle campers, RV campers, tent campers. And I've driven past this place a million times, but never actually stopped to take it all in. I'm usually distracted by the Sandhills Curiosity Shop. I think they're technically closed today, but we're gonna wander around a little bit, see what we can see and see if we get in trouble. Dude, look at all this. Look at that little stage over there. A lot of old playground equipment. They don't make them like they used to. Got an old outhouse out here. This is one funky stop. There doesn't appear to be anyone around to give us a tour today. But even though we have to make good time, I couldn't resist stopping. The hand-painted signs alone would have pulled me off the highway. Not to mention all the fun pick opportunities. Look at that. You could stick your head in a tire right in front of these flowers covered with bees, London. Weirdly, we can hear TV coming from inside, but we did call the phone number and nobody answered today. But there's enough to see along the roadside itself to make this place very interesting. And look at this, London. We can take our photo behind bars. Oh no, my 4th grade teacher's predictions came true. Dude, I love this. I love this bizarre mud and log construction out here. The property is actually much more extensive than what we just looked at. They got the campgrounds back here. There's supposedly a bunch of historic buildings also hiding on the back half of the property, but like I said, we saw a couple of closed signs hanging up. I guess we just arrived at the worst possible time. We snooped around a little bit. I think you can rent some of these cool old buildings. Coming around to the back, we've been snooping around the perimeter. It's pretty freaking awesome looking. Wait a minute here. We may have found the entrance. Look at this, we might be able to see Sam's Town after all. Let's push this open. Oh, heck yeah, now this looks a lot more like what I've heard about. Population unknown. Oh, there are way more buildings hiding back here than I thought. Oh, look at this, they got the old solar dryer out here. Look at this writer's cabin. This is Oklahoma artist up there. Look at this, you got a little loft that I believe you can camp up inside of. This is the most amazing, weird place, especially without any context. Got a couple of campsites back here. Boy, I'm confused, I'm amazed, I'm a little bit inspired. Look at the size of that log and mud wall. This building over here is called the $7 Cabin. And oh, wow, I've never seen the inside of a building that felt so much like you were standing outside. Dude, this is the coolest, weirdest, most amazing looking Airbnb I have ever seen in my life. Look at that old wash tub back there, and look at this bar right here. People have left some notes. Thanks, Sam. Looks like there's a loft upstairs where you could sleep. A lot of spider webs. I don't think anybody's been sleeping here lately, but the summer tourist season hasn't really kicked off yet, which is probably why we haven't met anybody here. Oh, there's a restroom off this way. Oh boy, that is a very unusual restroom situation going back into this place. Oh, look at that, a toilet. This is the coolest, weirdest thing ever. I'm almost sorry we got to blast our way out of here because, yeah, it would be roughing it a little bit. It's a little rough around the edges, but this is one cool place to stay. And look at this. This is amazing. Okay, there's the donation box right there. We definitely want to leave a contribution in the little box. Look at this amazing campground. This is the coolest place ever. If you had a big group and you rented this whole place out, Kitty, hi Kitty. This would be an amazing stay. Hi buddy, come here. You want to be friends? You little Siamese looking, aren't you? Little Siamese. Dude, I made a friend I can't get rid of over here. Oh, she loves me. Dude, look at this. This is called the 7 Ricks Treehouse Loft over here, I believe. Built out of the 7 ricks of wood it took Sam to cut out to build it. The sign said, selfies this way. I think you have to enter the cabin here and climb up that ladder. And look at that. You can take a sick pic up on the balcony. Oh no. Oh no. Dude, that loft up there, the treehouse, looks like a pretty cool place to stay. Look at this old house down here, which I believe you can also rent. And here is the one-room schoolhouse, the 100-year-old one-room schoolhouse, according to the website. Just gotta pass the old outhouse here to get around to the front of it. Oh, look at this. Got the broom up here on the wall. Dude, what an amazing space. This is incredible. I've never been so spooked out, but also inspired and excited by a place all at the same time because no one's around. Clearly all the guests have checked out today. I mean, at least we did have one little tour guide, but we're gonna make our way out of the exit now. I think we've looked at all that we dare to look at and seen all that we dare to see without an official tour guide. We did leave a donation in the box, and if this cat didn't have a collar, I think we'd have a new cat. She looks like she wants to travel Route 66 with us. Oh, we gotta go, baby. Dude, if you combined staying in this place and hanging out with Harley in the same day, you would have one heck of an experience here in Erick, Oklahoma. All right, well, we gotta exit back out to 66, as the sign says. We still have to make time, but you see how it happens? You see why it's so hard to make good time? Anyway, we're moving on from Erick, Oklahoma, heading on down the highway. We've got to make Oklahoma City tonight, which for the moment means more driving and less talking. This is cool because between Erick and Sayre, along the side of the wider, later alignment of Route 66, everywhere you've got all this ghost road, portions of the old original 100-year-old alignment of Route 66. Yeah, and look at that. Clearly it is no longer being maintained, but you can drive down it if you're brave enough to risk hitting a dead end. Sealand and all the other kids are at home playing video games. That's not how we get our kicks. We're getting our kicks on Route 66, the old original Route 66. Dude, this is freaking awesome. Well, it's all fun and games actually until we whack into a bush that has a beehive in it and all the bees end up in the car or something. London really is like, do we have to do this? Like, yes, we do. Route 66, baby. Now that's adventure. We may be in a hurry, but we got time for this. All right, instead of going west to east, we're actually going south to north through the little town of Sayre, Oklahoma. The exact reverse of a shot from The Grapes of Wrath that was filmed right in front of that courthouse. One of the B-roll shots of the family car cruising past that thing. We got some thrift stores, some secondhand shops here, including the Odd Shop, which looks closed. It's actually for sale right now. I love this on the corner. Vision Source, the optometrist office in town that has old optometrist office setup. So there's a 1950s one in this window, as you can see here. And then over here, you got an even earlier type of optometrist with even earlier equipment. I don't know how well you could see that, but I don't recall seeing that in town before. That's a pretty cool idea. Doesn't seem like there's much going on of a Monday out here. There's a tiny little guitar shop. It's closed. Tiny little clothing shop, it's closed. Day spa, it looks closed. There's a sick looking old movie theater over there that's also closed, but they duped me. I was admiring the old neon sign and the cattle brands on the marquee. When I saw this young lady in the ticket booth, I thought they were open, but sadly not. I love small town main streets like this, and they're gonna get more and more common the farther east we get into the Midwest proper. I'm genuinely confused why everything is all closed up today. Pretty fiercely windy, and I know some storms are coming through the area. Maybe everybody's just getting prepared. Oh, wait a minute, look at this. We got an art gallery that is open today with some Route 66 flags out in front, and the Yellow Chair thrift store appears to be open as well. Oh, wow. This building just keeps going and going and going. Oh my God, that is terrifying. Look at the size of this thing.
Come and play with us, Justin.
Ooh, they're ready for Halloween out here. Look at this. Oh, that's cool. Some old oil. Dude, there's still oil in that thing. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Ah. We're finding cats everywhere today. Look at, I don't want to brag, but you guys better watch out because I just found myself a copy of a DVD that is gonna change my life. We'll never be defenseless again. Okay, what in the Norman Bates? What in the Herman Munster? Look at this. Somebody is building themselves a haunted castle in Sayre, Oklahoma. Dude, and check this out. This is awesome too. It is unbelievable. Almost unthinkable now when you stand out in Sayre, Oklahoma, but at one point the traffic on Route 66 right here was so heavy that in 1939, as part of a WPA project, right? Works Progress Administration during the Depression, the government actually built an underpass for you to go underneath the street because crossing at street level was not safe. This particular one here in Sayre, Oklahoma is actually sealed up and is now a storm shelter. So if a tornado comes through, you can all bail down here under the street, but it still exists. There's still a tunnel right under Route 66 right here. I'm gonna remember that for the future in case a twister comes through. Oh dude, look at that. One of the coolest neon signs in Oklahoma, the Western Motel. I have got to start making a list of these places that I haven't stayed in yet. I like to take a lot more time than we're currently taking today, trying to make good time. The boy and I have a hard out at the end of the month, so we gotta keep getting a move on. But it's always worth keeping your eyes open for the next cruise down Route 66. Yeah, so as we're out here, it's looking more and more like severe weather for the next couple of days throughout Oklahoma, so the farther we get, the better today. So we're gonna blast through Elk City, Oklahoma, which by the way has the National Route 66 Museum, which they are expanding here for the 100th anniversary year, and is, by the way, one of the best museums you can stop at on the whole mother road. And keep on cruising. By the way, look at that, 66 sweet spot. I keep seeing stuff like that. In the build up to the 100th, I saw a little Route 66 to go, like a food place earlier. A lot more businesses named after the Main Street of America these days. If you want to see all these museums and stuff we're passing, by the way, though, just refer to my Route 66 playlist because we've been there a couple times. Okay, same story with the Oklahoma Route 66 Museum, which, by the way, is currently experiencing gale force winds out here. We are stopping and going inside, but I'll leave you to the old playlist to see the inside in detail anyways. That's because we're just breezing through quickly. We've been here multiple times, just to check up if there's anything new for the 100th anniversary out here. Speaking of which, I don't think I've ever seen these before. Look at this project marker. They would place these at the ends of certain sections of road for different contractors to prove that they had paved their section. And then this is a right-of-way marker that marked the boundary between the state-owned highway property and somebody's private property. These are two cool old survivors out here. You ever see one of these out on the road? They are rare. I don't remember this being out here either. This is an old original concrete mixer owned by the Oklahoma Transportation Department during the original construction of Route 66. That is a cool find. There's a restored Valentine Diner here, old 1948 fuel truck, and then inside the museum itself, exhibit after stunning, stunning, stunning exhibit. This is one of the best museums possible to stop in and get a sense of what it took to actually build this road, which was quite difficult. A lot of work went into building this. Things like the parking meter had to be invented in the past 100 years, along Route 66, by the way, in Oklahoma. We take it all for granted now, but they just started Route 66 in the National Highway System 100 years ago. It took them many more decades to actually finish it. We completely take it for granted. Lou, give me a milkshake. Chocolate. Ah, the old diner. Anyway, we gotta keep moving along. The only reason we're breezing through this museum so quickly, as much as I love it, is because there's actually another museum just 10 minutes further up the road that I've never seen before. And by the way, this museum and the last Route 66 museum, they're only 30 minutes apart. So when you're driving through Western Oklahoma, make time for your double museum visit, because they are two of the best. All right, exit through the gift shop, and let's hope that our next stop is actually open, because a lot of stuff has been weirdly closed today. Well, at least we can drive the old road all the way there, but dude, it is windy out here. Even the locals are like, dang, it's windy. At least London has been supplied with McDonald's, and the next town should be only 10 minutes away or so. Fingers crossed that this place is open. That's my main concern. Let's go, let's go. All right, we made it to the town of Weatherford, Oklahoma, which ironically is having a lot of weather today, and look at this. It's rare to see something I haven't seen on Route 66 before. But that's exactly what this 100th anniversary trip is all about, because there's new stuff everywhere. And this is definitely new since the last time I was in this town. All I hear in my head right now is 2001: A Space Odyssey. Ba, 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 da. Dude, this thing, it's freaking enormous, and you know I'm gonna say it. Would you look at the size of that astronaut? It's absolutely gargantuan. Welcome to the Route 66 Spaceman, aka Major Tom, placed here last year in 2025 ahead of the 100th anniversary year of Route 66, because Weatherford, Oklahoma is known as Space City, all because this is the hometown of one of the Gemini and Apollo astronauts, Thomas B. Stafford, as well as there being an air and space museum in town, which is not where we're heading today, but there's no way I couldn't stop at a 30-foot tall spaceman, dude. 30 feet tall, that's 6 alleys. Ground control to Major Tom indeed. No, as cool as the rest of Weatherford is, there is another museum in town I'd like to get my eyes on, because I've never stopped there before. There's actually a billboard for it right across the street, the Heartland Heritage Museum. And we're kind of running out of time to do it, but holy crap, dude, I can't get over this thing. Ground control to Major Tom. That's one gargantuan rocket, man. Also, I sincerely appreciate this, the little thing to put your phone so you can take a sick pic without needing assistance. I gotta get London over here. Dude, impressive. Most impressive. All right, time to set up the sick pic. All right, let's do this, London. Fun pic. Ground control to Major Tom. Dude, some people call this guy the space cowboy. I just call him the gangster of love. Ah, heck yeah, we made it. Dude, and Space City is really leaning into the 100th anniversary of Route 66. This is exactly the kind of new stuff I set out to see. I was hoping to see a lot more of it in the West, but so far, really not that much has happened out there. Anyway, now we're at the Heartland of America Museum, or as it says over the door, just the Heartland Museum. As you can see, there's a couple of interesting buildings and vehicles out here with interesting backstories, but we're gonna head inside first to get the heck out of this wind. It's like being in a blow dryer. It's 100 diddly-doo-dah, dig-dag, diddly-doo degrees out here. Feels like someone's just holding the world's hugest blow dryer. Ah, pointed right at you. Okay, I thought there was a woman standing right inside the doorway to like take our money. And then she looked disappointed that we were coming into the museum during the last hour, but it's just this lady right here.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Oklahoma.
Okay, you're real. Oh. Dude, that is Pat Smith. She was the director of the Route 66 Museum that we just saw a minute ago forever, and they've roped her in to helping to spruce this place up now.
So we're going to do a timeline exhibit through representing, you know, the heritage of this part of the state of Oklahoma, to include Route 66. The final gallery we're working on too, and it'll be Route 66 through Oklahoma, a huge map that we're designing, and Michael Wallace, always worked with him. He will be doing the audio tour for it, so more hands-on and everything, okay?
Yeah, this is great. Dude, that was great. She did such a great job in the museum in Clinton. She was like, oh, I'm sorry, we're not done with everything yet. I'm like, no, I love seeing the before and after. Look at this place. This is amazing. I know she's gonna transform it and it's gonna look totally different, but I actually kind of love this the way it is.
Me too. I'm really annoyed. I hate change.
Calm down, President Truman. I feel like it'll be okay. Oh, President Truman, He has to trust the process. Look at this. There's a whole booth of advertisements right here. Everything from the old stove doors to the old signs that would be on the general store. Look at this, an old crate. I love the giant box of Lucky Strikes up there. Watch now, YouTube will demonetize it or something. Oh, this is cool. They got a newspaper printing shop exhibit with the old printing press in here. Hey, look at the old letter case right there. Got the drawers with all your typefaces, or as you know them, fonts in here. Hard to imagine laying out every single letter by hand, but way back in the day, that's exactly what they had to do. Oh, look at this. I love this old plate here. Pioneer Trails to Space Flights. That dates back from 1973, and they got a lot of stuff in here dealing with Weatherford itself, some of the old college classes. Look at that, Weatherford seniors, 1940. Nobody ever put my senior picture in a museum. Whoa, Rick Moranis?
Hi, how you doing there, sailor? You look pretty good.
Why you assume I'm a sailor?
Well, maybe it's just 'cause that patch over your eye.
I lost this eye in a dang tractor accident, woman.
Sir, I do not like being referred to as a woman, and yet I still find you attractive.
What did we just walk in on? I love that, dude. No museum exhibit is complete without weird old mannequins. I hope she keeps them. I'm gonna put that suggestion in as we leave. Look at this guy. He's surprised that he's gonna get a date tonight. Poor Rick Moranis. I'm forever alone. Ooh, I like this. We got a little patriotic exhibit over here. We got cardboard cutouts of George Washington, Mr. Lincoln, President Kennedy, and a 3D version of his wife. Hello, Mrs. Kennedy Onassis. I must say that is a stylish outfit. Oh, and over here, very patiently and quietly ignoring us in the mayhem that we are bringing, is the clerk at the general store. Honestly, these are really cool exhibits. I love seeing old general store exhibits that are fully stocked like this. That is so cool. Oh no, bread, my arch nemesis.
When will this man leave? Maybe if I keep my eyes closed, he'll just move along.
Ooh, and what do we have here across the street?
Honey, that hat is not working for you. Come sit in my chair and see what we can do.
I don't know if you want to do that, ma'am. Look what you'd be working with.
Oh, dear Lord, no!
I know. I know. Dude, this is amazing. Dude, it is way bigger inside of here than it looks like it would be from the outside. Whoa, look at this. Korea and Vietnam and Iraq conflicts. They lumped them all together. Whoa, and this is a huge, huge exhibit, and there are so many funky mannequins in here to greet us.
I'm actually an Oklahoma native. I just dress like this for fun.
Yeah, look at these guys. Oh man, the U.S. military. Don't mess with the U.S. military. They'll get you. Dude, you can actually feel the whole building moving. I hear all these creepy sounds from the gusts of the wind. That's not right. Even this lady over here looks pretty concerned. Not this sailor though. He's standing proud.
I've seen worse on board my ship.
Dude, it sounds like that giant spaceman is walking on the roof. Look at this, they got a communications, photography, cameras, movies, and informational processing exhibit. A couple of sewing exhibits over here. So look, I'm glad I don't have to carry that camera around anymore, and that looks very old to me. It looks like it belongs in a museum. But that is the kind of camera that I used in my youth. I'm a little disturbed that that's in a museum, London. I really don't like that. Ooh, this one is the clothing of yesterday. And what museum would be complete without creepy dolls? If they want some more creepy dolls, they gotta go to that thrift store in Sayre because that place was packed.
Yeah, Junior, come to my tailor. I suddenly remembered my Charlemagne.
Got the Frontier Medical Office over here. I gotta say, I see so many medical displays, I often get bored with them, but you don't often see old original medical bags from the doctors in the area. That is actually pretty impressive. And what in the heck is this? This is a bearskin coat that a local doctor used to wear to stay warm here in the Oklahoma wind when it got cold. He was good at keeping warm, but he wasn't a very good doctor, sadly, because his patients ended up like this. Oh no! Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm sure there's no connection, but dude, the window coffin. By the way, that's a pretty narrow coffin right there. I guess this is Twiggy's coffin. Lots of creepy heads. Oh, this is very cool. A religious diversity in Western Oklahoma booth with a lot of different kinds of Bible there. A little display about Judaism. But most of the rest is just your standard Catholic and Protestant denominations here. Ooh, a collection of crucifixes. I like those. Those are really cool. Make sure you do not miss the dairy processing booth. It is a stunner. This section is actually a dead end over here into a huge exhibit gallery. They're completely redoing. Pat's got big plans. I really want to take this all in because it's all going to be completely different the next time I come through here. I totally missed the World War I and World War II exhibit. Look at this sturdy looking Jeep driver right here. This guy just looks confused. Like, we're going where? Ooh, and I like that. Look at that, London.
Now that's a gun.
No. Now that's a gun. I don't own any guns, but if I did own a gun, I'd want to own that thing.
I never date a fella who goes unarmed.
Well, I got both of my arms. Here we have a display about Claudiana Baker, a World War II Army nurse. She was in France and Germany. Oh, sure am glad she's here. My head isn't feeling too good, and I'm really hot under all these blankets. Oh, that is, I believe, a prop grenade right there. We can play grenades. Oh, this is comforting. This is good. I'm glad to know that. My only question now is like, are they not in other museums? What do you got down there? Hey, look at this lady. She went into the 1st Armored Division. That's why she's so buff. Look at that muscle bloom. All right, let's see what else they got back here. Ooh, I see saw. Now this is interesting. I knew that they used to build sod houses out here, but I've never seen a sod cutter for a house. Look at that. Some of those early people living in dugout houses made out of sod. Then they got more advanced with these sod techniques. Eventually, they even started living in regular houses. And look at that. Look at the Dust Bowl coming for you. Oof, that's the only way it could get worse outside today is if all of a sudden a big black cloud of dust came, well, or a tornado. This is the type of stuff I used to think was really boring until I started doing woodworking myself. And now I'm like, no, look at this drill. It couldn't be plainer how cool this museum is. I don't know what a sheep dipper is, but apparently this is one.
I know what that is right there. That's a cattle brand.
You know how I have the Randomland cattle brand at home, like the Randomland brand? Mm-hmm. Would you let me brand you with it? Mm-hmm. Or how about that? No, okay, that's wrong. But would you brand me with it? Like if I was really into it, I was like, brand me. Why? Oh, but you'll let me get tattoos, huh? Tattoos are fine. Right. Cruising right along. I'm just kidding, by the way. Look at this. Oh, when cotton was king. Look at the size of that cotton bale. I didn't really ever think about them growing cotton out in Oklahoma, but I guess they did. And here's all their stuff to tell the tale. Oh, look at that hook to pick up the cotton bales. That's the original claw machine game. But nobody was winning any prizes back then. Ooh, look at this. I'm taking too long. Let me sat down. Look at this back here. This is where they're keeping the good stuff. Look at that tow truck. That is pristine. Now, my 1998 Dodge Ram van was a piece of crap. I will grant you that, but I've always wanted to own an old Dodge truck like that because just look at the front end on that thing. That is gorgeous. Look at that frickin' hood ornament. That's sick. I've never desired to own a tractor, although I have driven a couple of tractors. My old bass player, Monkey, his uncle let us drive his old 1920s tractor. That's right, I knew a Monkey's uncle. My great-grandpa had one too, but he had a little one because he was in his old age. It was more like driving a lawnmower than driving something like that. Look at this right here, though. Look at this carriage. Look at the headlight on that thing. Wouldn't that just illuminate the horse's rear ends more than anything? Oh, heck yeah, dude. I've never ridden one of these things, but I've always wanted to try. I am a little scared, though, of taking a header and going over the handlebars. Look at that Plymouth. See, now I think of Plymouths not being very good cars because of the later years, but that is a beauty, and so are all of these. There's a cool little Dodge Coupe right there, and then we get into the 1927 Ford and the 1929 Ford. These are cars I'd love to have, but sadly I cannot afford. And then look at that freaking T-Bird right there. Yeah, it's got such a nice rear end. They got the rear end pointing right out at the crowd. Oh, look at this. There's concept artwork all over this place for how they're going to expand this. There's going to be a big Route 66 map right here on this big blank wall. So we're going to have a third Route 66 museum in a row almost. I don't hate it though. The more, the merrier. Look at these old radios on display here. Those are very nice to look at, although undoubtedly they were probably nicer to listen to. Now, Oklahoma only became the 46th state in 1907. It's weird to think of California, which is so much farther west, becoming a state way before Oklahoma. And wait a minute, what's going on here in the music booth? They're playing Rodgers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma in here on a motion-controlled speaker. So it actually turned 100 in my lifetime.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain.
Is that the state anthem of Oklahoma? Because if it isn't, it should be. Okay, of course they have to have a booth about the Native American history here, because of course Oklahoma at one point was known as Indian Territory. because they forced all the Native Americans into what would later become the state of Oklahoma, and then they changed their minds and let settlers from everywhere come here, which is a little bit of a bummer, to put it as mildly as I can. Look at this right across the way, London. The famous Oklahomans. Mickey Mantle's over here, T. Boone Pickens, Will Rogers, the mayor of Beverly Hills. He was certainly very famous, and the most famous Oklahoman of them all, E.K. Gaylord. And look at Major Tom. I think he was actually a general, but that wasn't a David Bowie song. Okay, now speaking of famous people in this museum, is it me or is there something up with the veterinarian over here? Because either President Franklin Delano Roosevelt has become a veterinarian or he is seeking out some unusual medical treatments for his polio these days. Is that not FDR from like a wax museum? Am I crazy? I asked London, but he does not agree with me. That looks like President FDR. Okay, maybe it's not so much that he disagrees with me as he's trying to run away because he knows what I'm about to do next, because right across the street from the veterinarian is a display about the ghost towns of western Oklahoma where they did all that buffalo hunting, and apparently they did a little bit of buffalo riding as well. Because look at what they have here. A practice buffalo rocking horse contraption thing with a saddle on it. And it does not say do not touch, and it does not say do not sit. You know what happens next. Oklahoma, 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 Oklahoma.
Why does everybody do that to me?
Oh, look at this. Last on the left, we got Meemaw's kitchen. Meemaw is actually out of the kitchen right now, but look at this. The baby's still in here right next to the hot stove. Meemaw, what in the heck are you doing?
I'm doing the laundry. It's wash day.
You could have at least turned off the stove, Meemaw. The jokes aren't pleasing you? Ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am? I don't think she knows that's not the baby. The baby's over there in the kitchen. Ma'am, the real baby is across the... No, let her sleep. Let her take her nap. She's been spinning all day. All right, there's some information on the local towns. There's some old school desks and a very, very impressive backdrop with sponsorships painted on it. It was a stage curtain for a local school, I think. That is pretty cool. That's a pretty cool way to advertise. I wish schools would still do that. I would totally pay to have Randomland painted right there. Anything Tom Hatchery can do, I can do better. See, like they had FDR and Truman in here. What is up with that? What's going on in this museum? All right, last but not least, we gotta go through the gift shop and we gotta go outside because there's a little research library here and there is another Ford in here which you can ask to touch, but I don't feel like asking. Okay, Pat is so nice. So she's working with a small budget, so we did buy some items from the gift shop. She wants you all to know that everything is being reimagined here, so we're only seeing phase 1 that's just about to end. I did tell her, I said, please do not get rid of all the mannequins. Small town museum isn't worth stopping at without creepy mannequins. Look at this, they got a bunch of farm implements out here. The old fire truck, it'd be super cool if you could climb up in that thing. Look at that Ford fire truck, dude. That thing is awesome. A couple of John Deere tractors, an old blacksmith shop, a little red schoolhouse, a covered wagon, an absolute must. I think the cover blew away today. The old town pump is on the ground. And then look at this, an old Valentine diner from Weatherford. It used to be right on old Route 66. The Porter House, and this diner is particularly special because they actually kept a guest register in there, like a little guest book, and 3 separate times a very famous customer came through town, ate at this place, and signed that book, which they have in the museum. None other than the King, Elvis Aaron Presley, ate right here. They got a lot of Elvis slept here in Oklahoma and Missouri and Arkansas and Tennessee, but not a lot of Elvis ate here. And apparently he liked the food so much he came back multiple times, and they've got the guest book to prove it. She said they're just getting ready to move this thing so it can be a little closer, so hopefully they can open it up, people can see inside. Everything's changing, but I kind of like seeing the DIY, old school, hometown way of doing things out here. Also, apparently if you come out here to the Heartland Museum, oh boy, there goes the wind, you can get half off to the Air and Space Museum in town. So all the little museums are working together. Okay, London and I, as much as there are so many cool things and old pieces of Ghost Road and old gas stations and everything else we've been looking at on Route 66, there's so much more of that in western Oklahoma to see. We have got to get out to Oklahoma City tonight. We are hoping to see another epic museum tomorrow, and then another epic private display, a place we've been to before, but is always changing. And we're hoping to stay ahead of the storms that we hope are not gonna humbug our 100th anniversary trip, at least together. I mean, I can always come back and do more. I only have the boy for so long. So anyway, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, and if we don't meet our demise, we will see you in Oklahoma City. For today, we've done our duty. Please stop by this museum. They could use your help, and so could this channel. You can click the thumbs up, you can subscribe, you can share the video with a friend. That's the best of all. And if you want to keep us on the road and guarantee that we can come back out to Route 66 and keep doing this, you can always support us on Patreon or buy some sick merch in our gift shop at randomland.com. All the links are there. And now that I've told you that, I've done my duty. Time to go home and sleep well. See you next time, friends. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. The jokes aren't pleasing you?
I never date a fella who goes unarmed.
Well, I got both of my arms. What are you laughing at? Why are you laughing?